hit the like button, whatever it is, because we got everything y'all need, man. Listen, and what you ain't looking for, you gonna be looking for it then.
Scribe or Deebo gonna whoop your ass.
First thing we're gonna talk about though is how the UNC went over there and got their face beat in
Got to be
48 to
okay.
40, 48 to 14, man. I guess that was Bill's welcome to college party, I would say.
It wasn't no joke. He's letting them know, man. These boys did not come to play. TCU was not playing with them, bro.
Yeah, definitely. So looking at it, I think the defense, personally, just looking at it, they just got dominated. I think on both sides of the ball, when you look at it, the offensive and defensive lines, they were getting moved around.
The whole game.
The whole game. On top of that, you got guys not catching passes. You got guys missing tackles, dropping punts. Everything that when I was there that they harped on fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? See what you're supposed to see, be where you're supposed to be, and do what it is that you're supposed to do. And you had guys that just looked like they were totally out of position. Big plays. It was nothing like you normally see of a.
They looked lost, Deebo. They looked lost. They looked like they were ill-prepared and uncoached. And that is not what you see in the Bill Belichick type defense or his team. The one thing they're going to do is be coached. They're going to have eye discipline. They're going to tackle. They're going to be in the right position. They might not be the most athletic people, but the one thing they're going to do is they're going to be in the right place and make the right play at the right time. They looked completely lost. When they first started off the game, it was all good. The first drive, first pass, cross, big over, boom, everybody's hyped. First drive, they score. And from that, it's funny how the tables turn.
Like 40-something?
Bro,
unanswered, like nonstop.
40 some unanswered. That's exactly what it was, Deebo.
Yeah. Like, that.
He threw the pick
six. That's not something you could do, man.
No, the pick six before halftime killed them. And then coming out of halftime.
I don't think that killed him. I think they didn't regroup at halftime. Normally, when you get in there, especially when I was there with Bill, he has a plan, in place, and he puts that plan in place. And okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to adjust to. And you come out, you adjust to it. And, I think he's very good at adjusting to halftime. But again, you're in college, you know what I'm saying? And it's a difference between, college and the pros. How hard do you think it is to go from coaching in the NFL to college?
I think it's very hard. I think because when you have professionals that understand that it's not no longer, we're not doing this for fun. This is our profession. This is our job. What's on film is our resume. So you're speaking to grown men, and when you tell them one time, you shouldn't make the same mistake twice in the league or you're going to be out the way. In college, it's more, do you get this or do you don't? You know what I'm saying? I think it's harder to coach those kids than it is to coach professionals. And now with those kids being NIL guys, these kids are also now getting paid. These kids are also now looking at Bill like, what you going to tell me? You know what I'm saying? I'm making $1 million here playing a little game. I can go somewhere else next year. You know what I'm saying? I got this. So not being able to have the maturity of, like, you can't really coach these dudes up because now they looking at you like, who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Instead of the respect factor that he used to have in college where Coach Meyer, when he was telling us what to do, he was the law. There's nothing over Meyer. Meyer's not going to let us play. If we go somewhere else, you had to sit out a year. You couldn't just go to another school and then go play. No, you had to go do what Cam did. He went JUCO, then he had to go to Auburn. There's steps. So kids are acting a little bit different. So I think that's going to be a whole lot tougher for him to coach. But I was saying, like you said too, the halftime part. Pick going into the second half. Now you have the whole halftime to figure it out. Get your changes, get your execution. First play, Deebo, the man ran 75 yards untouched and scored again right out of halftime. The first
and that's not the adjustment you want to.
That's not. You didn't do any adjustments. You look crazy.
And that's something else. The big difference, is you're recruiting now. You actually have to go out here and find the guys that you need to get. That's a whole nother process. You don't have a whole scouting department to go out there and get what it is that you need to get. Again, you have grown men, out here. They're trying to put
Yeah,
food on their table. They're trying to feed their family. It's going to be a lot more motivation to go out there and get it done. Where you got these, 17 to 20 something year old kids, and they got money in their pocket now.
exactly.
$50,000, $100,000. That's a big thing to them. And
They're
I think
up.
another thing with college is that they've really limited the amount of time. I think that's what we're seeing in the tackling. They've limited the amount of time that these guys could go out here and do live drills, go and tackle, go and, perfect their craft. And I think that's a big issue of why we were seeing, so many missed tackles.
No, I think so too. You're exactly right. I mean, it's live reps. They're taking out the live reps. They want dudes they're trying to protect people's heads and all of the protocols.
Right.
Being able to go full speed and get those live tackling reps, being able to get those angle tackles, that doesn't happen.
It's a big difference between running up here and breaking down. Oh, I was formed up, ready to go. Okay, but what happens when he decides that he's not going to cut away from you and he lowers his shoulder?
He's going to dip.
Now he's going to run you over.
Yes,
that's things that in practice you have to go through.
For sure,
have to be able to get that day in and day out, so that when you get into that game, I can see the adjustment. It may be a little late, but I'm not going to miss this whole tackle because I've been coming up here all practice, squatting down, form fitting, looking pretty. And now, he go ahead and he put that right down on my ass, and I'm sitting there on my back with my feet kicked up in the air.
Yeah.
Like a horse that done got put down,
For sure. Because then dude can run all the way up to the right position, stand there, and then look, bang. Now you get back. What you gonna do when you get there? You gonna drive through him? Are you gonna go through the target? Or are you gonna become,
right,
a speed bump?
Yeah. I don't. I don't. Dang, man. I don't think I would ever go from coaching in the NFL to coaching in college, because again, especially in today's era, you lose a lot of the motivation that guys have, when you're in the pros versus now in college. You got some of these guys out here, they could mess around and actually make generational money, millions of dollars, if they're smart with it and have financial understanding of what it is they need to do. And you're sitting here as their position coach trying to tell him what to do. That's a hard road to hold.
1,000%, man.
Yeah.
1,000%. They had that role over us because we couldn't even do anything. That name, image, and likeness. You couldn't get a haircut. You couldn't get a free tattoo. Right. I mean, T. Cheryl Pryor got kicked out of school for getting free tattoos. Like, that's crazy,
dude. That was that long ago. You know what I'm saying?
That wasn't that long ago that we couldn't actually do a thing. We couldn't have no money. Like, they want us to be legitimately broke. They're like, oh, you getting you're paying. They're paying for your housing. I'm like, so. Like, if a dude was in my class that was an artist and made it a painting, he could sell that painting for $250,000 and nobody gonna say nothing to him. But I can't go do an autograph signing, Joe Haden at the University of Florida, make a couple $1,000s because I ain't got it. They like this. That's against the NCAA. I'm like, huh?
Yep.
If they don't, that's mine.
A dinner. Like, that's me. Dinner could get you a free dinner could get you popped. You know what I'm saying?
Anything, bro. Anything. So that was crazy. Like, not being able to do that and just being able to not have no money to now. These dudes are, I appreciate it. I love it. But at the same time, that's what gives them a little bit more like, you can't really tell me nothing. But I don't like that part. I think they could still be able to grind, still be able to get it. Cause that's the thing. What I loved about college when we was there, I think that made us want to get it out the mud because you still didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? You were still in it with your boys.
Nobody wanted to go back to the situation.
All y'all broke, man.
So we that's something that I see. I see now with current players and some of their kids. It's like, yo, even me. I'm like, I done made it too comfortable for these dudes. Like, my oldest son finally dropped down and started really grinding into it, but it was only after he had a couple surgeries, you know what I'm saying? And now he has to have another one tomorrow. But, I was in a situation where I'm like, yo, I got to grind. I got to go out here. I don't want to be in the situation I grew up in. I didn't know I was poor, Joe, until I got to college and realized, like, yo, everybody don't live how we was living back here. Like, we ain't got no money. We actually waiting. We folding up antennas to make sure you get the TV to work and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
The TV break, you got to wait.
For sure.
It ain't just go get a new one and everything else.
Like you saying too, though, that's the thing. You know, you're your surroundings. Like everybody that's around you is kind of in the same situation. The internet, being able to get on TikTok, being able to see everybody, how everybody's living miles away and fake living. You know what I'm saying? Because all that stuff is how their perspective, what they put out. You always want to live up with the Joneses, keep up with the Joneses. When you was in your neighborhood, you was riding your bike to your man's street, up the street, and y'all was playing football in the street until the lights came back on. You wasn't sitting there looking to see, oh, what little Johnny got that lives in California with his family that's just traveling and doing that stuff. You figuring out what you got
when you up here window shopping, daydreaming, trying to compare your life to somebody's life that ain't even really what they putting on there.
For nothing.
They just fronting, you know what I'm saying?
got you depressed, got you stressed out over something that doesn't even need to be nothing. You know what I'm saying?
So I think
it's just a whole different era, but that grind, that like wanting to get it, that grit that we had, some of that stuff, you can't put it into everybody. Some people ain't built like that.